Hello viewers from wherever you're watching us from. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting live from our headquarters here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Sisse. Well, ahead of the launch of the national campaign on road safety by the National Road Authority, we're having this special program to discuss the importance of road safety. As you know, the issue of road accidents has been a concern in the country. And according to the police accident report of 2021, there were annually around 700 cases, and of course resulting in over 100 fatalities. And in order to help address, the consequences of road traffic accidents in the country, the National Road Authority is leading other stakeholders to better to end these menace in our society. And joining me on this program, I have on my far left, I have Mr. Usman Sanyang, who is the Managing Director of the National Road Authority. Mr. Sanyang, good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much for having this program, and thanks for the invitation, and we're happy to be here.
And next to Mr. Sanyang, I have Modu Musa Sisa, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force. This is good to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here again.
And on my immediate right, is someone who needs no introduction. He's Lamin King Colley, Commissioner of Mobile Traffic. Mr. Colley, good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on my far right, I have Mr. Omar Sisse, who is the President of the General Transport Union. Mr. Sisse, good to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Well, I will start with the Managing Director of NRA, Usman Sanyang. Like I said, your office is leading this campaign. Could you just tell us what is the reason behind, coming up with this campaign, which you are launching tomorrow?
Thank you very much. This is an initiative that the National Road Authority is leading, obviously with the support of our line ministry, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure. I came here a few months ago, and I did promise that this will happen in February. Okay. Unfortunately, it didn't, due to various reasons. I think some of the reasons include March we had the Korite, which is not the best time to launch this type of activities. Then after that we got the OIC campaign which came through, and obviously with those kind of campaigns conferences, it does consume these type of things if you want to start at time. So really we were left with a lot of options until now. We're trying to introduce this, but really it's long overdue. The primary driver for all of this is that we've got this Battle Harding Highway, which is a 3-lane road, dual carriageway, the first of its kind in this country. And since we started construction of this road, and especially when we opened it to traffic, there has been a lot of accidents. Some have been fatal, unfortunately. And it's come to a point where we think perhaps the best thing to do is start educating people on the awareness of road safety on this road. Because, as I said, it's a new piece of infrastructure we're inheriting. And not only that, also, we've got some sort of junction configurations on it, including roundabouts, which people don't really understand how to use these things. And we think an initiative like this can save lives. And moreover, not only saving lives, but also teaching people on how to use these roads when they open, so that we can be safer on our roads. Most of the things we can see on these roads are driver behavior and attitudes and things. So we hope that when we initiate such a campaign, it's going to be really worthwhile in terms of saving people's lives. I think if I halt there for now, perhaps, and until we delve more into this thing, but that's the driver behind all of these things.
Just before I bring in the other panelists, you said, you're leading this drive, of course, to your line ministry. Who are the other stakeholders who are part of this multi-sectoral,
obviously, OIC road is as the name implies, the Battle Harding is part of the OIC road network. So OIC are a major stakeholder in this. In addition to this, also we've got obviously the General Transport Union represented here at the moment. The police are also important stakeholders for us, and we've got the National Safety Audit Committee, and this is normally headed by our line ministry, which has lots of stakeholders in it, Red Cross is in it, WHO. A whole host of important stakeholders in that, which are all involved in this. As I said, the launch is tomorrow, officially at Coco Ocean, where we'll have all these important stakeholders also in presence, and hopefully grace the occasion with us as well.
Let me now bring in PRO, Commissioner Colley. How timely this initiative? I mean, the issue of accidents. I mean, I know we have had both of you on our various programs discussing the issue of road accidents. I mean, but how significant do you think this initiative is?
Thank you very much. I just want to take this opportunity to highlight that it is very important, that it's very timely, and at the level of the leadership, the Gambia Police Force is doing everything possible to ensure that with partners and stakeholders to see how best we can mitigate these incidents of accident within, like he mentioned, the OIC route, which has been a concern for a while, and having to have to come up with such an initiative to ensure that people are well educated in the way they use the traffic, especially drivers, and also, you know, having to have such a state-of-the-art structure for the first time in this country, we would understand why some of these things are happening, but come together as stakeholders and realizing this is a concern, and it's timely that we get together and see how best we can together educate our people, mostly the road users. This is very timely. In addition to the plans for the Gambia Police Force, of recent we are aware that after the OIC there have been motorbikes that are handed over to the Gambia Police Force, and this is to augment the mobile traffic unit. We have the commissioner who would go into detail of that, but also quick just to say that we also working on what we call the highway patrol. All of this together is just to come together and see how we as a department, as a security agent, to ensure that, because at the end of the day, the police has a bigger stake, because we would be there when accidents are caused, and we would be part of the first responders to ensure that we are able to contain the situation. And not only that, but also on the road, making sure that drivers are in compliance with the road regulations and all that. But like I said, it's more than timely, and the Gambia Police Force is more than willing to cooperate with stakeholders and partners to see to it that the life that we save, which could be even mine, and that Gambians deserve a better way of using the road, so that we can come together and see how best we can mitigate this menace, like you mentioned earlier.
Let me now bring in the Commissioner of Mobile Traffic. Certainly, I mean, your men and women are quite visible on the road. Sometimes you will see you personally as a commissioner also on the road trying to control traffic here and there. But when you look at the Gambia, as small as we may be, when you look at the statistics, they're quite worrying. What do you think is responsible?
Yeah, thank you very much. I would say good evening to my brother, the director of NRA, and my little brother, the president of the Transport Union. It's very significant to have this panel, not only for the inauguration, but periodical, it could be even weekly. The accidents occurred not as the results of the bad road, but as the results of attitudes, the behavior, the attitudes of the drivers, the behavior of the drivers. When I say the behavior of the drivers here, most of the time when you touch the drivers, you touch the president. No. Here, if you want to factor it, both the private sector and the commercial sector are all involved. Now, at the beginning of the year, 2024, in January, February, the accident rates were so high.
Wow.
I think I have said it over and over. In January, it was 13 accidents, fatality. In February, 15. But when minds are put together in consultations with the NRA and other stakeholders, plans were put in place where we were able to put on some strategic points and junctions. We fixed the police officers there. That was the time you see these barriers, in order to ask the drivers to reduce their speed. This was initiated far back from the then Interior Minister, who was the then IGP. And then after which, it's a good job. The new IGP came and he continued. Now the PRO did mention, but that after the OIC is a blessing to the entire nation, but it's a blessing to the Gambia Police first, particularly the Gambia Mobile Traffic. Today, those motorbike of 48 are now distributed throughout the length and breadth of this country. and greater number of it been posted at Batin Hadin. I mean, I would proudly say, and I'm not aware, since April, May, we haven't registered any fatality on Batin Hadin.
Wow, wow.
So you can see greatly when police officers are posted there, trying to control the speed of the drivers. Generally, when I say drivers, in fact, private drivers, they drove more higher speed than the commercial drivers. Because the commercial drivers, when they are driving, if their vehicle is not to full capacity, they're expecting to stand and pick up a passenger. The accident was reduced. And again, with the new command, the mandatory fine, I know Umar never liked mandatory fine, but this time around he will like the mandatory fine. The mandatory fine is coming in first. In fact, it will come more because we must regulate the drivers' attitudes. When we say drivers, as I said, it's across the board. We are not distinguishing whether you are a commercial or private or government. The law is saying a person in all the sections of motor traffic.
And many times when people are speaking, they think you are already referring to the commercial driver.
The commercial, no. He said a person. I always educate people. Like, for example, the director is the head of the institution. He has a vehicle unnumbered and give it any driver who drives that from his institution. The offense that driver commits when he is driving that vehicle unnumbered, the punishment again equally goes to the director. Because a person shall not cause, that is section 25A, a person shall not cause or permit another person to drive a motor vehicle without a number plate being fixed to it. Who allowed the driver to drive that particular motor vehicle? Who caused him to drive that particular motor vehicle? It's the authority who allowed him to drive. A fine not more than 20,000, not less than 10,000, or 2 years imprisonment. So these are, if you look at the Motor Traffic Act, yes, some punishment centers on the driver, but there are some sections that go far beyond the driver, even the authorities. That's why past weeks we were engaged on number plates, and we are coming back on unlicensed vehicles. On unlicensed driving, unnumbered again, because our work was little bit stopped because of the OIC. And you can witness what the mobile traffic did during the OIC. In fact, the directors personally do pass me on the highway. We operate from 7 o'clock in the evening to 7 o'clock in the morning. So the road safety should be a concern for everybody. Batin Hadin is key because that is the first time we are seeing it. You don't even have a double lane, much more triple lane. So Batin Hadin is a concern to everybody, and it should be a concern to everybody, not only the police and NRA. Even the driving section, that's why the president is here. When driving, let's take care.
Okay. And now let me bring in the president here, Umar. I mean, you have heard from your friend King. I know today you will be on the same lane. I mean, you always tend to disagree. Agree. But I mean, you have heard from him talk about the issue of drivers' attitudes, and he's very clear when he talks about drivers. He's not just referring to commercial drivers or truck drivers. He's referring to every driver. I mean, the attitude of drivers. You as the president, are you really satisfied with their attitude?
Thank you so much, Mr. Sise. First and foremost, I want to thank the National Road Authority for bringing this kind of important campaign for road safety activities, because accident is a concern for all of us. We are all victims of road accidents. So we really appreciate to be partner with them, and we are calling all government to partnership so that we can speak on the same language, so that we can try to mitigate the road accident in this country. The attitude is a problem. It's not about time. It's a problem of the Gambians. All sector of life. Attitude is a problem. So that's why, in this regard, I will urge my colleagues, drivers, driving a motor vehicle is a professionals. Have some rules and regulations who are governing the motor vehicles. So it's your responsibility to follow those rules and regulations. So in Gambia, most of the keys, most of us, we feel we are big ones. We don't respect the rules and regulations. The end of the day lead to the fatal road accidents. So we are calling all of us to come together, to put our hand on deck, to try to be a model role to the nation. Because if I'm driving, feeling comfortable with not respecting other people who are, following me, they will think that is normal. So, attitude is a concern. According to the survey, the 95% of accidents caused by attitudes. So it's a concern, it's a factor. So I think it's not only about drivers, starting from our compounds, the vehicle owners, the road users, even the commuters have a role to play. Because I cannot be in commercial vehicle, for example. Drive a vehicle some like, I think it's normal. So most important, I need to protect my life. If the driver don't want to obey, I will report the person to the police station. So the police also can take the actions. But unfortunately, this is a challenge. But I think this campaign will try to bring everybody on board and you speak the same language.
And I think what you said is important. It's a challenge. I mean, many times you hear people trying to blame the traffic, the mobile police officers for not doing their job. But for me, I don't think they can be everywhere. I mean, like you said, attitude is key here. But back to you, MD. I mean, tomorrow is a launching. What should we expect tomorrow at the launching?
Thank you very much. And again, once again, coming to me, I mean, the good thing about this is that we've partnered with a young media advocacy group, which are also safety advocacy group as well. And it's local, and it's young people. I always say young people are the drivers of these type of things, because in fact, I think the victims are mostly themselves, and also they are the perpetrators as well, in terms of young people. So the good thing is we've got a good, young, dynamic team, local team, Gambian team, who are very, very passionate as well. With these type of things, the champions or the drivers need to be really, really passionate about what they're doing. And I think we've got the right team to do this. So what we should expect is a 30-day, 3 months program, intense program. And the first thing will be target audience analysis. So we're going to target the people we need to reach out on this. As I said, I think the young people are important, the drivers, going to meet them where they are, the local languages, because not all our drivers are fully literate. And really, for you to penetrate the message across in terms of the target audience that you want, you need to reach out to them in the languages that they understand.
And through various mediums as well.
Various mediums. I mean, it's all sorts of mediums. It's not only through radio and TV. A lot of people, in fact, these days, perhaps not listen to radio and TV that much, but they are more in their media. So the media, social media platforms, those are the ones you're going to target as well. So it's going to be 3 months, as I said, intense 3 months of campaign, reaching out to people in their societies, in their communities, going to the garages, going to the schools. Again, the schools in terms of hearts and minds inculcate the safety at the very early stages of development. And this is in the schools, trying to get it even as a curriculum. In those days when we used to go to school, we used to have those things. Basic safety way of using the roads, police stops, when you should cross, when it's safe to cross. Those things, I think, are still in the curriculum somehow, but they seem to disappear. We want to bring them in, because if you educate people from childhood, they are bound to grow with this.
Maybe bringing back civic education?
Safety education, safety awareness education.
Rights and responsibilities?
Exactly. And once we are able to get this, we will go a long way. But with all these type of studies, we have to have a baseline in terms of where are we today in terms of safety on our roads. So safety statistics, where are we? There are some interesting statistics in terms of road safety, and Gambia, doesn't rank very well. So in Africa, we've got the 20-somethings per 100,000 in terms of fatalities. But when you start going to developed countries, it's about half of that or even a third of that. And if you start going to even countries which are even well advanced, the safest countries, which are the Nordic countries, you start going to less than a tenth, because it's 2-point-something rather than 20-something. So people have a chance of dying in these countries 10 times as more advanced countries where safety is a culture and a way of life. So this thing is trying to bring safety as a culture and a way of life. It's going to be in our DNA. This is what we're trying to introduce. So anything that you do before you go into a car, you think safety. But as I always say to people, the way I see it is, you go into a car, it's like you having a gun and going into the public. That's how I see it. It's as simple as that. If you cannot drive, or you are under the influence of drugs, or you are driving and you are drinking, you're carrying a gun and you're going to kill people. So you and I will be driving safely, but somebody else who is not driving safely will put our life at risk. Now, the thing is, this safety campaign is going to be really, really interesting in the sense that the way we think about safety in this country is either the person driving or the person who is being affected on the road in terms of being prone to either being ridden over or his car involved in an accident through no fault of his. But we have a third category of people also that I realize have come into this interplay, and we need to understand this also. I understand through this safety dialogue, and again, we engage people all the time. We understand. I come from Brikama, and last time we went to the Cabinet Select Committee on Defense and Safety. And it's interesting the type of things that come out of that. Could you believe that there are certain people who tell you, ordinary citizens of ours, we need to target them as well, who say to you, if you want to go to Banjul quickly from Brikama, go to Jawile. And this is where you can go fast. And if you go to the garage, you go slow. So some people offer to go to the fast place. So it's like you want to go and die. So this type of people also we need to factor in our approach to this thing. And sometimes also in cars, for example, where people are being driven by a driver who is driving very fast or recklessly. If you say to him and as a passenger, please, can you be more careful? I understand he will tell you, if you don't like it, you drop off. Yeah.
But even the passengers.
They tell you to drop off. And if you even want to take the case further, the passengers will say, well, we'll all drop off here and take another taxi. So you see, it's interesting. We've got to be careful. This thing, if we want to target this and bring it down, there are a whole cross-section of society and thinking and concepts that people have that we need to try and change. So it's not going to be easy, but we're starting the launch tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. Let me now bring in PRO and Commissioner here. I mean, earlier on you mentioned that laws do exist. That's the Motor Traffic Act. I mean, but do you think we should repeal some of these laws? I mean, you talk about the issue of issuing licenses, especially in the way and manner we issue licenses in this country.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to buttress on what the director said before coming to that.
All right.
About the issue of taking these motor traffic road safety issues to the school's curriculum. I really concur with it because personally I would say I'm a lecturer on road safety. Yeah. I lecture so many institutions in this country. The last which I did was the National Audit Office, which were certificated. The first was the jar oil. You remember 2 years ago, every week, the jar oils, their truck will be involved in accidents. Weekly, monthly, sometimes, in fact, sometimes a day, 2 or 3 times. It went to an extent, I myself, I call his manager, Haidara, yeah. just mentioning their name just for people to learn, but not nothing. I called Haidara, I said, Haidara, but do you think you have qualified drivers? Every day killing people, every day killing people. Is it that because the company had money, that's why they're killing? He said, no. He invited me. I went there. And then he said, what can we do? I said, let's organize a seminar for them. 3 days. We did it at Bond Road. All the drivers were there. We showed them the causes of accidents, the 36 or more than that. The issues that cause accidents, the preventive methods, to prevent accidents, the traffic laws. 2 days, only 2 days. From that time to now, the accident they registered was, I think, once in Sierra. Because this person, the truck was going, this person suddenly just crossed from the grass. So sensitizing people, educating people is very, very important. Like on Wednesday, may his gentle soul rest in perfect peace, the commander of State Guard, Colonel
Ablai Mbu.
When the vehicle had an accident, when they were going, the following vehicle, not the president's convoy. Yeah. People always accuse the president's convoy. The president's convoy, I'm the lead convoy man. We don't go above 60. Let me tell you this. We don't go above 60. The most maybe 60 is 65, 70. But the other vehicles that always follow the president, those are the people who will cause these accidents, meaning attitude, high speed. Now, when this thing happened the second time, he called and I said, the only thing that we can do to help, organize seminar or session. I go to the State House. We call all the drivers and tell them the causes of accident, which he was very happy. He told me, is it payment? I said, no payment. I'm part of State House. Let them come, just organize breakfast for them, not even me. So Yalla Def, 2 days later, he died. So we must take this road safety to everywhere, as Mr. Sanyan said.
And still
and he did said, it
yes.
do happen. There is this, is a Mandinka, there is this local saying, Sila Koto, wale kata sate koto. Nye sate koto je. Iko ebe sila koto bula, lebe sila koto tale, ebe fila sate koto la. And then the issue of licensing.
Yes, the laws, yeah.
The laws are very light. Okay. As you said, you will see a child, when he drive and kill somebody, he could drive in Lensino from Tabul. Hinfa police law. Ni wokanyi ba soronda le. Mundo. Ba soronda mean the criminal one is the loss of life. But the injury law, at a soronda fam, he's just going to charge him for dangerous driving. Or injury, driving and causing injury to a person. And then unlicensed driving is a fine not more than $1,000, not less than 500.
So we adjust these laws?
What a wonderful!
Yeah. Yes. I think. Thank you very much. I think this discussion is going in the right direction. It's very important, and it's at a time that it is really required that we understand and see how best we can go forward. And I think National Road Authority, who has championed this, as he highlighted, I have listened to his deliberation, and it's comforting to hear him express the willingness and also some of the activities that are in line within this next 3 months, per se, to see how best they can reach out to people who are affected and people who are marginalized in a way, just for one reason or the other. And I am happy that he did mention schools, because we understand that most of the kids, especially within the Greater Banjul area, we have had this issue of joy riding, drifting on the roads and all that. Many a times, he would be called, I would call him on the PIU that students are at the stadium and all that. So going to these schools, targeting these people who are vulnerable, and they are students, but again, like he mentioned, they are coming from homes, from parents who actually gave them these vehicles. So what are the vehicles? The purpose for the vehicle, yes, is to go to school, but again, because of their age and influence, this peer influence, but again, having to target them to make them understand this is important, and I think it's a step in the right direction. And not only that, having to sensitize the passengers, because I sometimes would be in a vehicle, personally, because I'm in Mufti, I would tell the driver, ila speedo talabang. And sometimes people would like tell me, you know, we are corontoring. That is one. The other time is, you know, they charge you pass overcharge, and I say, driver, but this is not the tariff. They are like, you know, when you stop the driver and try to explain to the police officer at the checkpoint that this driver is overspeeding or that is overcharging people, the passengers themselves. So meaning people really need to be educated. People really need to understand and what it means to use the road. Because you mentioned some, and I think it's important for us to understand, part of this also would be important for the vendors on the road. You know, the Operation Clear the Road, which is ongoing, we're trying to ensure that people who are selling on the road corridor, because when accident happened, you remember at Sukuta Jabang Junction around when there was a vehicle coming from, going to the airport, accident occurred. It left the road and onto the persons who were selling on the road, and they died. 2 of them died from Farato.
The recent one was Abuko. So the lady that we moved, just Abuko Concrete Road, just the edge of the Gamtel face. He died. So she died.
All these are evidence, like he mentioned, because he said the statistics, the baseline. What are the baseline? I mean, having to have statistics, some of these statistics, yes, are internationally driven, but it's also important that at local level, nationally, we are able to come up with statistics to determine, to know, because they are guidelines that will tell us what are some of the best steps or better steps to take, and this is important. I think we as the Gambia Police Force, we are more than willing to partner and to also help in the coordinate sensitization, because you know, especially the public relations office, this is equally one of the mandates that we take, that is to ensure that, you know, as far as police security is concerned, to communicate, to also ensure that schools, the public are well educated as far as issues like this are concerned, if a traffic accident, and what are some of the ways in which, and what is the role of the police as far as we are concerned, and yes, the mobile traffic. Just a minute. The mobile traffic is key in this, because mostly these are the very people who are on the road, and our officers, most of our officers, some of our officers rather, are affected. Many times we are here that officers would be knocked down and killed on the road. You understand? So it's not just only those, but even officers could be a target of this in terms of sensitization. So I think, generally speaking, I think there is no better time
yes,
than now.
and just to bring the President in here before we go for a break, and then we'll go into the local languages. I mean, Mr. President, I mean, what role or what do you think your organization or your union can contribute towards this initiative, I mean, by National Roads Authority?
I think our role is very important, because this is not the first time we have been discussing with National Road Authority Police. Since the initial stage, we are part and parcel of the discussion. I think the terms and references, we are part of it. Our role here to engage our people, because we are representing them. Most of the time, they listen to us. They listen to our concerns so that we can bring that concern to the government. So in this issue, we feel we are all affected. Most of the times, we are a victim of those accidents. So come to discuss about the road safety and how to use the roads. It's our responsibilities. So we will take the lead, we will be part of it. We will be part of the campaign. I myself, at the ground, garage by garage, so that you understand this is not about the child play game. So we only to put our hands on deck. It's not about blame games. It's about how to save people in our roads. So in that regard, union is ready. No, I think King knows that very well. Okay. So we do because most of the times, any accident drivers is involved. They are vulnerable. Yeah. As a union level, the little talk we are gathered.
But it seems they are not learning any lesson from this.
No, that is we don't want to go in deep on that. Yes. What is that the cause about? We want to be in forefront to engage with them about the issue so that we can all collaborate. It's not about the president, it's not about the police, it's about us as Gambians. Okay. We are all at fault, so we need to rectify and try to find a way forward so that we can mitigate and have the road safe road and so that everybody can feel free. Okay. Because we are victims. My vehicle was knocked last year. King Kumar rescued me. Okay.
So it's good. So Pierre, just finally, your final message, because I know if you go for a break, I mean, we'll be joined by Dr. Momodu Gassama from the WHO. Just your final message on.
Yes. Before the final, I just want to state this or to bring this
quickly,
to your attention.
Because we're running out of time.
We are aware that roads, when they are constructed, are handed over to the National Road Authority, and that it's important for people also to understand that, because we are aware most of the road signs are being removed by our people on the street because they want to use it for Calais roll and all stuff like that, and to melt it. I think this is important so that in the advocacy and citizenship, so that our people can get to understand that. Finally, like you mentioned, what I would say is the leadership of the Gambia Police Force is more than willing, doing everything possible to ensure that we have what we call, because we believe that the highway patrol would go a long way in ensuring that our road, especially the OISC road, is actually maintained. Then we'll have motorbikes, we have stations, substations within, where police officers will be on duties, and people who, non-compliance to the rules can't be quickly, processed even on the ground. Like he talked about the spot fine, so that people at least, pay for actually what they must have cost on the road. And this is important.
Thank you so much, Pierre. Well, we will go with a short break, and when we return, we'll be joined on the program by Dr. Momodu Gassama from the WHO. Do stay tuned.
Kiusel moy suñu boss. Kiusel moy suñu boss. Kiusel moy suñu boss. Go, ebe dawa full network suda tili QCell. Ni lafta diamula wati jamala mune diata QCell. Most reliable network dumala geta wati QCell. Wo quality man nyon soda jam ona manke QCell. Hanibe wulo ni farole kono walante be bako na jala fayola network ko se taria QCell sunyu boss. Nyo finjaka indi 3G ñu delu taxi 4G plus, and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. Itella follow adi doron nesa keno. Gambia bela nyon tawo fele QCell. Ko fasun tawo buka busi QCell. Itella molti milka kukutol nati Gambia. QCell meda lori la kilianol yele imanyina amanda wala itella ka quality dila dadi ma itelle silo wala wodol mume be keno ma. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu boss. QCell sunyu Suñu boss. Connect solo be bambandi QCell. Suñu boss. QCell most innovative QCell. Suñu boss.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're watching a special program on road safety. As I told you earlier on, the National Roads Authority is leading efforts to end road traffic accidents, and because of that, tomorrow they'll be launching what is going to be 3 months nationwide sensitization campaign to better enlighten people on how to help address the issue of road accidents in the country. And now joining us on the program, I have Dr. Mamadou Gassama from the World Health Organization. Mr. Gassama, good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Just briefly, before we get into the local languages, you're coming from the WHO. You have had the initiative being taken by the NRA, but first, your reaction and how is your office being involved in this initiative?
Thank you very much. I think on behalf of the United Nations, WHO, we will like to thank the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Transport, again through the National Roads Authority, for establishing a multi-sectoral platform to deal with road safety. This is the direction that the world is preaching, so Gambia is in the right track, because road safety is a complex phenomenon which is beyond one entity, and that has been the song the United Nations has been singing for so long. So having that multi-sectoral platform, WHO is part of it, and we are grateful to the committee for having a very wonderful setup and well organized and proactive. I can see almost all sectors of government, the police, and they are very critical in this, and the National Road Authority. So many players are there, and that's the way to go, because it's beyond one institution, is beyond one entity, is beyond an individual. It's a collective responsibility. And our role there, even the WHO cares, the United Nations global platform on road safety. So our business is, core mandate is to support countries, generate the science, massage the science into policy orientation, so that countries can use their own context. Because you need to look at the context of the country. So our context is different, but unfortunately, it's a man-made phenomenon. This is not like malaria. This is not like tuberculosis. It's a man-made phenomenon. So the same man-made solution. So that's what I can say. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gassama. MD Sanyang barnga mure kan sign ngaje kom alia fo nyamin a samala al nyata kanyin campaign launch proka accident malka soto silo kan purki tala. I know Allah ministry that targeting by 2030 ka mixo kom accident ngota soto la na silo kan barnyin campaign yo munat na alnyin campaign yo na
baraka ya ko nga explain yami angali kamoto ning campaign yo meta fala ko bakela nga remember cabinet no njang QTV a few months ago ko bakela in February, end of February, but ko nga fana nyami angali kamoto sungaro na dum ko kono sungaro dum nga ko leata man bendino wo fi den sungaro bodo je ron na dum OIC la ko dum fana mu akela success balti banko e bara do ko jamana fana nyininka of which NRA involved je so ma ling mo tembendino. So mbara OIC kono saying komba tunga ka saying wala namba saying end of May kono kadina, but akuma yata ngani kacha sifa so ngani campaign so, because Gambia is la sifa so me alon ko ndena maso silo me alon ko motor ka bordi lane sabala direction kilometer lane mem silo tata fo sila woro bridgeol back santo fanang men yalon ko ndena maso jang roundabout Hulsman so ñi silo men ko mburumburunta xana badi ngodol bije malo ko use ñade ni ya approach to kadunga konol wrong ya meda ko ni frata konol ring from any direction men ko silo ñi warta roita do ñata na konole no roundabout fana fane luwal soto e ka use ñami so ñi campaign yo akuma yata nga mol karandi kanyi silo use ñami, because accident wol siata je accident wol men fana siata je mol fata kono sayal me alon ko really jama ke mol fangole attitude lati hadama dingol fa ganyin la use nyamin teng dole bije imal moto borondo no ka moto borondo la dole bije imantre fambu ni moto borondo la siata a sifal siara so yin campaign wala nin na Ministry of Transport Works and Infrastructure ali na stakeholders nyole because ali jele police wala import kumayata nyi ko balak drive wol fanam bi le kuntiyo bi jang me alon ko fanam kumayata nyi ko so abeta da nyi ko kacha because Gambia musata ndinnati ni lim mo fula saba kachata mo kilimba kala victim lade ida te fango badingo and road accidents aka menke aka molde tala ye hada madingo je me alon ko dingo mu ifamu o ibadingo ma bote so kono akendo yena mo ka freol mun tan so kono o ka ku ya tabaki wala tan nyin kachali nyin campaign akuma ya bata ngake
sa campaign nyin when albakala minto aning abatala karagila prokak and albakala nyadila abekela just TV program wala albita moloya ali kacha wala
campaign nyin so malen lafta launch la ni ala sonta koko ocean wala mu di launch nti so wala mu ka start but nyimbita la fo karsaba initially but karisabo nyi wala mdi campaign ko nyinti for to the contract fund but nyimu continue sinne because safety nya daba continue wrong but jama mba kala men difference in terms of molu yamari wala minti ko nga target mol mi anan ko ka sido nyi use jama na drive wala kanyim problem wala cause jama accident fund because ni batara moto ko wala accident sotla and nga realize falan ko jama aman ko bele karanta so banyin kala Gambia language national bill amanke angale ka wona mari and then also fana moltre dulalto e si dulalto like drive wol ile garage woldo me school wol fana try nge involve because dinni wala better fana pour fana safety ko understand because ni kebata ko no yewo culture soto ena be kala ko kulele me alan ko ya kala mota jani ba driving fo ndatila ana be kala ko ile alfa fana men yalan ko suwol ko no fana dinno fana sañi ko kace fana
dol be je fa ima rotta fe ko ñu understand
exactly because
wala cross la wati men nay malong
exactly so mbakala wala be pare nga realize fana ko mo jamal say bu ka social media television o ling radio la moy bar mol be ba media le say ñi Facebook ñolo Twitter ñola ling ko lo ali tondi ko ngele ñi do ndi yoro wan TikTok ñolo so batala la beldo ita dawda yele do ba jela jele and ba fura le ma and also the good thing is ni men mi ke kan Gambian ole mwete young Gambian ole me drama club me alon ko fanan interest safety ko do didni ole me funding ke le mwete so wala tan fanan akumayata ni to yake because it will nyin ko ke to affect jama funding ke either as a driver or as a victim so wala nan ni ba ke kan dun ngani fanan jiki ko fanan di public wala ma tol men be bantaje iban support la because nyin fanan ma tol lete because pasa so fanan wala mu nyindi ngi tol le ko mo fo jang angale kan do ngari realize ko pasa so fanan ile ko fanan do ta ko kolea ikata mo do ko itol le fa nga driver ko mba ko ronto ne ndum jaya ma nyana kala nya so aba wala nya
okay mbar nga king nata atlam commissioner mobile traffic accident melka ke Gambia siata bakile betembe juman safona atlata wala abela paka hana sign
this I would say second quarter accident no talata accident no mukulete mi yalon dal nula no nyoy because nakata pam mobe kalon ko accident no kata ana kata basele message nyin katale so ninko atalata le anu ngaman tala akamunda ko mbe faniale fokan publicly but nte wati nimbe diam lanka diam tening ala nin kilale tema aninga min soto na records na nyin ya nin second quarter nyin accident no nyin talata ngana jibe ko nyin tata no jana last week accident no kata jele yes akata mo jelle fata wa accident no min be kata wo chocho moto min be li pata je mo fula le fata nyin kata ani min kana ani ikajibe accident doto sinya clean mo woro se fanoje moto clean moto mo woro se fanoje uton tolla record se min tandina wolong accident no tala bada because ngafo nun angale kanto jan nka silo min fangola kumo fo jang anin Gambia sila kotengol wonyin karfulo kono jana accident no mankeje min keta batin hadinti uton safo welo ko alhamdulillah because mi ya lon ko wati tili saba bam tili saba accident but ngamin fanam fo angale kangola ni accident no fanang abika wulilu lakira kunten dunia kolo molle kake mina na nyi accident kake molla daji kol wala kanyi accident course man nte Dakar fulano man tara livre Dakar wa Angleterre bar Gambia accident jang daji kol nyadi sate kono NRA ya tandi loi ya tandi imanyana borla more than 30 kilometers 25 kilometers per hour itanim farfaro bari molle ke batu birkam busumbale ma ke traffic be on yejini traffic o dumal mol nyanta sina tamo tala dame ani dindingol itabe je farfarla nini dindingol na te benta fe yata wo mu daji kolet itabe minister jela abe rango kono ibe aji jela abe rango kono ita ko hani nyulmin kan nyinke nyulman kun soto mbatu ngaji nin dumal ite bo farfarla folo ibe kanka o tindile kam fulan jango minin betarlin sirlal ni wofurlal min ka benefit ji ibol fanan ki jo farandila ñul be mu daji kol min ya lon ko imam beta
ko démocratie lam
ba démocratie mo sifa dole bi je ka fenko li ka nyinne ta nyin energy drink umar la molo energy drink ka fo mo le ko la energy drink lo watra energy drink te moro dololom ka dolole ke wo energy drink la kato kono ini moy bo la moto borundo yalo nimbe mol karandila na tonya fo ni wala na jama ni nata nka ni nata axeno ketante min folo nyininka ani jama len kol nka fo axeno keta nyaatile ni ko nya be borla moto singo taytale adunta nyamo kono abir min tenga nka jeni min wala hani wo fango mine moto singo tay ko nte fangonte sinya fla na moto singo wututale te atata natan lota damil lota olta mamma la dobi je mbe borala moto singo teta mamma ba dolbi je kay moto singo teta fak yese nyamo ko bori balon abe mu jikolet tuba cafe nyin cafe tuba nyin siata nyin banko kan accident siata nyin cafe tuba ikanyin kaso mi waf nash anada kolata $15 lo $15 wolon cash back nyin cash ndingol mu $5 let mimbe midul $10 bari ka tara shirin cafe tuba la ayna ye $100 ile yala ate falmo sendilal kubije keso ko wole ko cafe tuba kon anita ta garage to bibe cafe tuba kasol si andala wolto drive le lafta cafe tuba la mobeti nyimbe droko long.
Is this just assumption or is confirmed?
Confirm and evidence.
Okay.
Should I sit before public and lie here? He knows we travel with him, and then there was a driver who reported this to us.
Okay. Well, legi harma indi Umar rek because hanga time legi timu jamu Umar mu nga ñu waxal rek yen driver yi dégg nga king lu mu wax si wàllu jikko yi naka ñu dem ci kaw tali bi yow foo nga loo leen mën a def pour mën a gis ne nit yi wekk seen jikko yi si ñi behave si kaw tali bi.
jërëjëf
xanaa ñu jeeroon out of time soo ko mën a summarize den ma indi Mr Gassama tam.
yes jërëjëf jikko yi moom concern pour ñoom ñëpp la ba su ne jikko yi bu nga ko limité to driver alone jikko pour ñun ñëpp la muy kuy dox tànk ku amee bicycle kuy taxi even di police officer am na fa rôle su ne jikko ku ne xoolal sa bopp yow li ngay def lan la wala dafa àndaa saral wa bi oo àndut soo fe àndut xamal ne yow si nga bokk because accident lu ko dee waral bari na ba luñ bëgg a mooy si this campagne mooy ñun yëpp nañ joxante loxo ñoo xam ne ñun yëpp dañ nekk pour ñu aar suñu boppa aar suñu njaboot because lu ñoo bañ rek mu ñëwee suñu ne driver lañ police lañ NRA lañ loolu du sol problème ñun ñoo cause problème ñun Gambien ñoo cause commencé si kër yi school si suñ office yi ñu yaawal paravit kon nañ sell suñ jikkoy suñ ko defee rek we can avoid road accidents ñun pare nañ jël na suñ measures pour ñu partner with the police not this police frère la NRA seen effort bi bu ñu ko ooyee woon dañ kontaan no man jox na assurance su ko commencé man su ma bëggoon naa nekk si ground yu dem garage by garage waxaa driver lan moo waral accident bi ko ñu ne driver lañ xam na lu dee waral accident su yaakaar su ko waxee nag end of the day ni public nag seen support bu ñu ko bàyyee suñu loxo as a committee ou as a NRA o na nga ko jëlee seen boss waa seen njaboot bi waa seen driver yi waa seen passengers yi ñëpp su ko defee rek we can avoid accident.
dégg li nga wax lu am solo la parce que fii laa dee dégg nit mu naan driver soo ma laalee di nga xam so Gambia laa ko di gis na driver soo ma laalee di nga xam Dr Gassama ngalon ko ñi manque signa ploti pour ka finti kam ka kacha mo pour ka accident ko ñi kacha bari ita men comme ñi initiative NRA men lead kan what difference or what do you think they could do differently to change that mindset of people?
Alhamdulillah mbe NRA tentula ani ministry bundami marta nyin transport manning accident on kaben kachaten ministry of interior police of jam fam no brother kin kole ke kende balam
jatole
ibe jihadol la nyimu jihadol
nkoma
yo biton Omar Bejang alhamdulillah timol jata balam ndisabu jata balam en timo kon yo doble jo ka kumo stuyandi nka kacale maten kacani fudo nyin kuliyata bake nyin fudo nyin sa kacaja na fo monro wadi saba man han kututam kadu mo jamala ni yebeje comme ngam kinko li ka fa nyam mo jamala bi ni boyin kon bari fenne me alon kon si hakilitu mo nka silo nka ma silo ka nyame ay daji ko foje bari hadaba dingum ala ko kolata ba meni ka drive be jele meni ka tab amem bi ni so man dala mbe moto kono ni drive mbina karam do talibo mobile babu earphone ba fankel ama han silo fon jibe fan bidin tule haynan yalon abe membe je molle miranya haga da badingo le kokele ni molle miranya ikaje mobe silo ka amari ta fambu amari o malo membe kede ni atan num to be bori bala num mbo sunkuro en tambundal fa badiri nga haynan ko nyi meje nyi menya men amang blajibe bari oto drive lo fan ninga drive lo fon si sinna tamalal fanam ni sinna tamalal dum ni ajibe ni en fudo furing men ka fa men ne sato ka sun duniya ton ko nano be men ne sato ka sun ni rost ni accident won ni a kasabi talulu men siata wuti mo sabalam men ka dapato ka tama men ka motorcycle use men ka cycle use ni a kudete ya kudela talulu nim fen wala ka tarayndo bari men yalon ko be moto fanan kono moto me alon ko fo moto sinnani wala bala wala tada fo mo astara fo almost one third wala mo ni keme tan saba men ne sato ka sun ni accident ko bari ka tara moto ko yina jindi tugun mol me alon ko fanan masimal yalo nga fo ene masimal o fanan be jele masimal me alon ko simfula bala sin saba yalo be ibe shaybe ibe shakan domani man sha jamba bari india lo ma fon south east asia wala ba shaybe dum kan nanja o fana man wala problem net so ale kolu shiata bake
ngalon kacha kumera bakele but that time is up ngalon nying 1 hour tabe pengen wala bar md just in 10 seconds on ila final message in just 10 seconds please.
Okay, yeah. So this appeal wrong mobile everybody's involved in this but that love discipline over and how we bring up our children. This is multi-sectoral, multi-dimensional, mobile involved for J. So ngal be ni dani pro ali involved with us pro kanyum campaign okay extra testing. Lawmakers nyol fanang be fanang yamarla we had need tougher laws and enforcement. Licensing also we need to control that. We also need to think about innovation and automation in terms of fines and revenue collection. Okay. So
thank you so much. That's Mr. Usman Sanyang, who is the Managing Director of National Roads Authority, and Dr. Modu Gassama from the WHO, and we have Lamin King Colley, who is the Commissioner of Mobile Traffic, and Umar Sise, President of the Transport Union. Earlier on, we also had, of course, the police PR, who was also on this program. Thank you so much for watching. And then, as they said, I mean, they are coming to your communities. Come out, engage with them, and share with them your experiences and suggestions in a bit to help, I mean, reduce road accidents in the country. Well, Mr. Sanyang, thank you so much once again. And then, of course, to our communication officer, Arfang MS Kamara, we thank him so much for the brilliant work he's doing at the NRA. We have seen so much changes as far as the visibility of the NRA is concerned. And then up next is African News Roundup. Bye-bye.